All right, Ryan, thanks so much. Take a look at this. Thunderstorms stranding some hikers and led to this rescue on Katahdin this week. Maine National Guardsmen went out early yesterday morning to rescue 2 climbers. The storms had those hikers stranded on the mountain since Wednesday. Baxter State Park wants to remind everybody that the terrain along many of those routes within the park can be demanding. And the Maine National Guard recommends that all hikers come prepared to rough it in the wilderness for at least 24 hours, even if they don't expect bad weather.
A 5-year-old is dead after a crash in Hancock County last night. It happened at the intersection of Route 9 and Route 193 in Township 22. Officers say the boy's dad was driving the car and missed a stop sign, crashing into an embankment. Troopers got to the scene around 11:30 last night. There they found the 5-year-old boy dead. His dad and baby sister were also hurt. They were taken to the hospital where they're expected to recover. Route 9 was closed for several hours. It's believed the kids were not properly seatbelted, but the investigation is still ongoing.
As the summer season gets underway, electric bicycles, we often call them e-bikes, becoming a much more common sight across our state. But as their popularity grows, safety officials say it is important for riders to understand the rules that come with them. CENTER Maine's Augusta shows us why knowing the rules of the road can help keep riders and everyone around them safe.
For more than a century, a bicycle was pretty simple to define. 2 wheels, 2 pedals, and human power. But then came this device.
Sometimes we're over 50% of our normal bike sales that we normally have through the season is now e-bikes.
Jason Neal with Slipping Gear Cycling says e-bikes have exploded in popularity, giving riders a little extra help for longer commutes, steeper hills, or simply making cycling more accessible.
It is faster. You hit potholes quicker, you hit obstacles, you come around corners faster.
But not all e-bikes are created equal. Maine law recognizes 3 classes of e-bikes. Class 1 e-bikes provide pedal assistance only and stop assisting at 20 miles per hour. Class 2s can be powered by a throttle without pedaling, also limited to 20 miles per hour. And Class 3 e-bikes provide pedal assistance up to 28 miles per hour, making them the fastest e-bikes allowed under state law.
So you really should work up to and know the limits of your e-bike, because if you don't, you're operating in an unsafe manner.
Holden Police Sergeant Phil Boyd says the biggest distinction comes when a bike exceeds those legal limits. By swapping batteries or modifying motors to push beyond certain power thresholds, what started as a bicycle may legally become a moped, bringing additional registration and operating requirements.
If you're not used to it and you give it the boost of power, it can knock you off balance. You can find it difficult to stop.
They can move at the speed of a motorcycle, and that means there's a increased stopping distance.
As e-bike technology continues to evolve, advocates with the Bicycle Coalition of Maine say education is becoming just as important as enforcement.
It opens up that opportunity to still be mobile and have that mobility to get out and enjoy the beautiful state of Maine just with safety.
Officials say knowing where your ride fits under state law can help keep you safe on the right side of the road and stay on the right side of the law. In Bangor, Augusta, CENTER Maine.
Akua, our thanks to you. Well, after a scary situation at a restaurant in Portland last week, we're learning now a man from Westbrook has been arrested. Police say Ken Muko walked into that restaurant last Friday holding a Molotov cocktail and carrying a gun. He then reportedly lit the Molotov cocktail and started threatening patrons and staff with the gun. He was identified and arrested Tuesday, and investigators also then searched his home, saying they found additional evidence, including the gun he's believed to have had at the scene. Muko now facing several serious charges, including attempted arson. Also today, a judge sentencing a mother and a grandmother for their roles in the death of 10-year-old Braxton Smith. They both pleaded guilty to manslaughter.
Jem Bean, the boy's mother, and Misty LaTourette, his grandmother, will both serve 10 years. Officials say Smith's cause of death was blunt force injuries and battered child syndrome. Prosecutors say for 2 years, Smith was abused, and it went unnoticed because he was homeschooled and socially isolated. Bean spoke before a judge in court today prior to the sentencing, expressing remorse for the role she played in her son's death.
I'm so sorry that he's gone, and I wish more than anything that I could go back and do everything over. I miss both my children, and I will have to live with this guilt and sorrow. My apologies also to my parents. I didn't realize how much they've been hurt through all of
2 of the 3 family members charged in Braxton's death have now been sentenced. The boy's father, Joshua Smith, pleaded guilty to depraved indifference murder. His sentencing hearing is expected to be in late September. Federal civil rights officials are investigating discrimination claims involving moving a disabled teenager from Falmouth with serious medical needs to another school.
Alex Bedmayev has a rare neurodevelopment disorder. The 15-year-old has severe developmental delays, cannot speak, and has other medical issues. Alex's mom, Laura, says he regressed in skills and medical issues after missing an entire school year. Last May, she alleges the Maine Department of Education told the Falmouth School District to move Alex from Falmouth Elementary School to Falmouth High School without a safe, accessible transition plan. She says the Maine DOE used a special education 5-year age span rule to justify that move. Alex's mom filed a discrimination complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. She was just notified that an investigation is underway.
The DOE didn't talk to us. They had no data. There was no documentation, no observation. It was like a mechanical, like, he's too old, he needs to move to this other school.
We did reach out to the Falmouth School District for a comment. We have not yet heard back. The Maine Department of Education spokesperson says the department cannot discuss any specific student's plan. You, by the way, can read that full statement in the new CENTER Maine app. Democrats Hannah Pingree and Matt Dunlap spoke before union workers in Auburn today as part of the Maine AFL-CIO's political engagement convention.
After ranked choice voting tabulations concluded last week, Pingree is the Democratic candidate in the governor's race, and Dunlap for Maine's 2nd congressional district. This event was Dunlap's first appearance since his victory. Both candidates responded to questions from the audience about what they will do if elected to office come November, and they received confident applause with claims they would have the backs of laborers.
Working families can't send their kids to college anymore. I talk to people who can't afford homes. How many people don't have any access to retirement? The best security for these things, obviously, is union jobs.
Can find care when they need it, and they can afford it when they do need it. It's also about true respect for Maine workers. I believe public employees deserve a champion in the governor's office.
Laborers in attendance told New CENTER Maine while they were initially backing Democrat Troy Jackson for governor, they are confident that Pingree is the right candidate.
Fraud, abuse,
Another candidate for governor, independent Rick Bennett, did not have an event today, but Republican Bobby Charles did. Charles is the GOP's nominee for the November ballot, and he made a challenge to his competitors today, saying, "Do not accept Augusta lobbying money." At the State House, Charles said that he himself will not accept money from Augusta lobbyists, AI data centers, or Central Maine Power, and that he's putting it up to Rick Bennett and Hannah Pingree to do the same.
It is not a difficult decision because I do not answer to Augusta lobbyists. I do not answer to CMP. I answer to one group of people because I am those people. I answer to the people of Maine.
Pingree today called Charles's challenge a distraction from the issues that matter to voters. She said she is not taking private money or funds from CMP. We have reached out to the Bennett campaign a number of times today and have not yet heard back.